Hello, I'm Ch23 and today I'd like to introduce productions to you. Why do the culture industries matter? The culture industry make then circulate text. More than other types of production, the culture industry are involved in the marketing and circulating of products. We are influenced by informational texts such as newspaper, broadcast news, programs, documentaries, and analytical books, but also by entertainment, films, TV series, comics, music, video games, and so on. The sheer amount of time that we spend experiencing text, however distractedly we might do so, in itself makes the culture industries a powerful factor in our life. Studying the culture industries might help us to understand how texts take the form they do and how these texts have come to play such a central role in contemporary societies. In societies where the culture industries are big business, culture industry companies tend to support conditions in which large companies and their political allies can make money. In contemporary society, many of the texts produced and disseminated by the cultural industries do not simply support such sociologists and Marxists have argued in response that artistic work is not so different from other kinds of labor in that both are oriented towards the productions of objects and experiences. There is something distinctive about the area of human creativity, often called art. The invention and performance are stories, songs, images, poems, and jokes, and so on. Some types of text are made much more available than others. These are bleak features of the culture industry landscape, yet, but original and distinctive symbolic creativity is and a premier, and the cultural industry can never quite counter it. The importance of symbolic creativity helps to explain the fact and the main focus of the books on patterns of change in the cultural industries as opposed to, say, changing the text produced by those industries or in how audiences understand tests. A third and final reason for the importance of explaining change and continuity in the culture industries is that there are increasingly scientific sources of wealth and employment in many economics. Some analysts suggest that the symbolic creativity and information for were becoming increasingly cultural or central in social and economic life. An important implication of this was that the cultural industry therefore increases provided a model of understanding transformations in other industries. Brands can only be made valuable as a result of massive amounts of work being put into product names and logos and how they are represented and circulated. Cultural industry companies such as Disney, because they were considered so experienced in Developing brands were often named alongside companies such as Nike and more traditional firms such as Coca-Cola as leaders in this field. Brands were only one part of a surge of huge because about the increasing role of information, culture, and knowledge in modern economies. New formulation of the idea that we are now living in societies and economies founded on information, knowledge, and culture have continued to appear in influential and widely read magazines such as World and Newsweek. Academic commentators, meanwhile, argue that creativity will be the driver of social and economic change during the next century. So, one of the key topics of Haf's work is the relationships between continuity and change. He repeatedly argues that while contemporary societies are quite different to those in the pro-industry past, more recent changes are actually less significant than is often assumed. assumed. While many people insist that the internet has democratized media and multi-channel broadcasting means there is no such thing as the mass audience, and the falling cost of film technology means anyone can make a film. Hesmond is skeptical about such changes. And where do you see aspect of the continuity and changing the media industries? What about the products they made and the broadly similar or different to those from the past? How do you think things will pan out in the future? And what does continuity and change matter? You might want to think about issue of power here. That's all of my question. That's all of my presentation. Thank you for listening.